Now, I've seen some Nicolas Cage movies over the years. I've reviewed a few on this channel. Raising Arizona. Also reviewed on here Wild at Heart. In both of those, Nicolas Cage plays a pretty over-the-top character, let's say. Well, in Mandy, he gets even crazier. Mandy is a movie from 2017. It features Nicolas Cage in the lead, of course. It's a kind of psychedelic, romantic, psychological gore fest, I guess you could say. Gist of the story is this. Nicolas Cage, whose name is Red Miller, is married to Mandy. Now, Red is a lumberjack somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, working hard doing the logging thing. It's very hard to describe. I would say it's a little bit artsy. You know, it has really, really creative lighting effects and very moody shots. The best thing I can compare this to is a David Lynch movie. I mean, for real, the sound editing, the general dark tone of the material in here, the just random absurdness of what's going on in this movie, very much Lynchian. And we all know that Nic Cage worked with David Lynch in the past, wearing that snakeskin jacket.
Did I ever tell you that this here jacket represents a symbol of my individuality and my belief in personal freedom?
Well, he's not quite the same character here. At the very beginning of the movie, he seems very reserved. He doesn't talk very much, but shit happens. And it is crazy shit. So basically, there's this LSD-loving, distributing Jesus freak cult led by this really whacked-out, narcissistic cult leader guy that him and his followers, they just travel around and they just like murder people and try and get them in the cult. And the guy made an album of his music and tries to seduce women and get them to listen to his and it's fucking weird. Anyway, they're basically in this movie, they're portrayed as being pure evil, or at least our main villain is Jeremiah. And this is, I guess, the traveling cult of Jeremiah, who are also associated with a demonic bike gang, post-apocalyptic armor-wearing demons that feed on LSD and different kinds of drugs and just go around and killing people. And I don't know, man. This shit is weird. So Nic Cage and his wife Mandy unsuspectingly are invaded by these cult members who come to kidnap Mandy and basically just get rid of him because the cult leader guy falls in love with her after seeing her randomly on the road. They pump them both full of a ton of drugs, and the cult leader tries to seduce her. Meanwhile, Nic Cage is chained up in the backyard, or crucified in the backyard. And, well, things kind of go south. Mandy doesn't, she's portrayed here as a very vulnerable and damaged person, but she is kind of at least level-headed enough to not fall for this culty second coming of Jesus bullshit that this guy's trying to tell her. You know, like I said, he pumps her up full of drugs, and then he like exposes himself, and she's supposed to like just believe that he's like Jesus or whatever. And then she laughs at him, and he didn't like that very much, so they proceed to murder her. They put her in a bag and they hang the bag upside down and they set it on fire. They completely like burn her to death and just like basically cremate her alive right in front of Nic Cage. And they stab him and they beat him up more and leave him for dead. And then they take off. They've taken everything from him, and He just loses his mind. And the scene where he actually does lose his mind, where he first goes in the house after, you know, all this stuff, the bad guys are gone and Mandy's gone, he comes back into the house and the funniest freaking commercial is playing, and the juxtaposition of this like just devastating situation that Nic Cage is in, intercut with the Cheddar Goblin, that'll stick with you. And then he goes to the bathroom. For some reason, he has like a big bottle of liquor in the bathroom, and just pounds back this bottle of liquor, and he's pouring it over all his wounds and everything like that. Just has this meltdown, just a scream fest, and watching him freak out was just probably the best part of this movie. Because watching Nic Cage freak out is amazing. That's why he's Nic Cage. Yeah, so he goes to visit a friend that supplies him with a crossbow and some advice and some information about this gang, cults, and he has a bit of a breakdown with him and his friend too, and just explaining the situation, and full of like just hatred and vengeance and wanting to get out there, get them all, kill them all. He had a perfect life, and they just came in, took it all away, and he's gonna get him back for that. A couple of the things that he does, well, first of all, he forges like this crazy, like, I don't know, D&D looking battle axe, and it's fucking great, watching him like sharpening his axe, and there's all this like metal music playing and stuff. Oh, and the music is really good in here too. There's a pretty good mix of different styles and genres and whatever, but there's a lot of metal in there, especially when the bad guys are on screen, or the bad biker guys, who are actually the first ones that Nic Cage goes after, and he manages to kill one of them on the road. Then he gets captured by a couple of them, manages to kill two other ones, and they really are like demons. They're like drug-fueled monsters. When they abduct Nic Cage, they bring him to like this place that they just performed a home invasion on and killed the denizens of said household. There's big, huge piles of drugs on the table, and during a fight scene of Nic Cage fighting one of these guys, he manages to take a just huge hit of cocaine off of this giant pile. There's a good amount of gore in here, and I thought the demon guys were actually pretty cool. Like, they're not literal demons, but I mean, the way that this movie's made, it's kind of psychedelic and trippy, and you don't know if what's going on is like really happening or inside somebody's head. Yeah. Later on, there's a big chainsaw fight, and when I say big chainsaw, I mean big chainsaw. Like, one guy's got this giant, just freaking massive chainsaw, and Nic Cage just got this regular one, and he looks at it and he's like, yeah, so he goes after the rest of the cult members, and they all die horrible deaths at the hands of Nic Cage and his magical axe, which is a symbol of his individuality and his belief in personal freedom, I guess. And he also has some hallucinations and stuff because of all the drugs that he's on and pumped full of. Yeah. I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but you gotta see this thing, man. It's fucking weird, and it's violent, and it's sometimes funny, and it's extremely tragic and shocking, and it's an experience. That's what it is. I really liked Mandy. I wouldn't call it the best Nicolas Cage performance, but it is one of the best movies that he's in my opinion, or best movies that I've seen anyway. Kicks the shit out of The Rock. Certainly better than Moonstruck. Yeah, this movie has a lot going for it. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and give Mandy an A. This close to A+. It's an A.75, let's say. I'm still reeling from watching this movie. I mean, like, to go back and watch it again, I guess maybe in like a year or so, or the next time I watch it, it might be an A+. I really enjoyed this movie, mainly just because it affected me so much. It made me go through all those emotions of, sympathizing with our lead characters and just detesting our villains in this. All the acting is great, not just from Nic Cage, but from everybody in here. All the supporting cast was really good. very well directed, very well shot and lit and edited, and it's a psychedelic gore fest that'll leave you wanting to watch it again right after you finished it. Yeah, this movie's an A. So, as I said, this isn't my favorite Nic Cage movie, or not my favorite Nic Cage performance. That one's going to be coming up sometime soon. I'm not going to spoil it. Please leave a like and subscribe, and we will see you at the next video here at Andy Boy Comics and Toys. Have a good one out there, everybody.